If you know KD, with all due respect, he likes the easy way out.
And you still have a chance to
Ooh.
win a championship. Right, Katie? You're listening to me, man?
Kamusta mga Insans? Welcome back to another episode of Insans Out of Basketball, your Filipino podcast for your NBA, Vancouver, and Filipino hoops discussions with your Insan, Intan.
And Jello, welcome back,
Sir.
mga insan. So if you haven't listened to us and this is your first time, this is two cousins talking about basketball, talking about NBA, talking about Vancouver, BC. We want our own team here again. We want a Grizzlies here. The Vancouver Grizzlies back here again. So, follow us, right? In this journey. Subscribe, like, comment, share it to your titos, to your titas, to your lolos.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
This is our time now, Vancouver. This is our time to have our team here. And for this segment today, right, Tad? We're gonna be talking about
see.
Kevin Durant. We've been talking about Giannis for the past couple of weeks, and I said I was tired of it. And thank God we have some news. Kevin Durant. Is it the end of his legacy? He's getting traded again on another team. He wants another out. Tad, he hasn't won a championship ever since he left Golden State. And you know what's the worst thing? I feel like he hasn't been in contention ever since he left Golden State. But let us know. Listen up at the end here. I think there is a potential for him to get those legacy back. And Intan, some trade rumors here. We have three main teams. Like, give us the deets.
Yes, but before that, if Kuis didn't say, but please subscribe to the channel, turn the notification on. A lot of people are just watching, not subscribing. We want you
Yes,
guys
sir.
to be part of the family, so let's go. But the first team we are going to talk about today is the team that got into the playoffs and, in fact, the number 2 seed, and that's the Houston Rockets. So, why is it a good fit? Like I said, they were in number 2. They lost to Golden State, which is a very good team, a very underrated team coming into the playoffs. But why does it fit? What did they need when it matters the most, when they're struggling to fight against Golden State? It's that bucket getter. It's that go-to guy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're struggling. We don't know how to score. Hey, Katie, get the ball and get out of the way. That's it. That's why they could be a very good team with KD. And the cost might be costly because our pride, Jalen Green, might be moving.
Oy, Philippines!
Oy, Philippines! He might be moving if KD is going to Suns, plus maybe Jabari Smith, and maybe the number 10. But the impact, this could be a title contention. You get to the finals, you need something, and you get that one Hall of Famer, one of the best scorer in the history. You add that to that team with a good defense, with his boy Steven Adams, who got re-signed. That's a
An
title
extension.
contender right there. That's a West title contender.
And I think we know what Intan's pick for KD to land here. But before we figure out who do we think would fit best with KD, the second team here, Tan. And again, you're gonna give us all the details about these trades, all what's happening is we have the San Antonio Spurs. That's his other team that he wants to go. Why does it make sense for him and for the Spurs to do this trade?
Yeah, the second team is a young team, the San Antonio Spurs. If he goes to San Antonio, they're going to build an elite unicorn trio. You got the fast guy, Darren Fox. You got the tall guy, Wemby. And now you got a Hall of Famer in Durant. And let me not forget another Hall of Famer in CP3. You got some elite young guys, elite role players, but it comes with a cost. When you want to get a Hall of Fame caliber player, it comes with a cost. Could be Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Sohan, and possibly the number 2 pick, which is a good player, which is I'm forgetting his name right now.
Yeah, we did a pod. So if you haven't,
yes,
just listen to that pod. But
I should listen to that pod to remember his name. But It's a high risk, high reward. If Wemby wasn't injured last year, they could be in the playoffs, and they
Mm-hmm.
might have needed that bucket getter push again with KD. And so this is another contender in the West if this goes through.
And our last team that KD wants to go, his last team here, last but not the least,
Yes, all the teams we're saying is actually the teams that he wants to go.
his preferred teams that he wants to go. And that's why there's potential trades already that we're talking about here. And I was going to pass this on to Intam, this last team here, the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
The Heat, I'm going to take this over, Tan. And I think
Oof.
this makes sense because Heat has a championship pedigree too, right? And just to clarify on what Suns wants to is they want some future, but at the same time some chances to still win the championship. And that's why you would see some, decent players getting traded and some picks for this year's draft. And I think Miami Heat also has, some assets to give away to Suns, although this might also come in a cost as we just talked about. But Miami Heat has a championship pedigree with Eric Spoelstra, another
Oof.
Filipino pride right here.
Uy,
And we
Philippines!
have our duos here of Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero, and that's gonna be a great team. There's gonna be, what do you call that? A three-headed monster right here,
Mm.
right? And we cover all our bases. We have our scorer, we have our defender, and I think the main thing here that I think that's gonna stop Suns from trading to Miami is they might not have the highest picks in this draft, but they have some decent players with Andrew Wiggins, Khalil Ware, they have Nikola Jovic, and they have some veteran players too. So I think they have some potential players that they can trade away.
Or they could add another team to make it a three-team trade.
Exactly. But again, this is much more complicated from the other two. And what do you think? Like, what do you guys think? Out of all these three teams, where do you think KD should go? And again, we're talking about KD's legacy here. Before we, jumped into this pod, I said to Intan, I think this is the end of legacy. No matter where KD goes, it might be the end of his legacy. But when I saw these three teams, I honestly believe it makes sense for him to go to Miami Heat. Why? Let's hear Intan's perspective first. Then why do you think? Who do you think? Which team do you think KD should go?
The team out of these three teams, the team that I think KD will go is the Phoenix Suns. I'm just kidding.
Okay,
I'm just
okay,
it's a
okay.
joke now in the pod, but Miami, I can see him fitting in there. You have a defensive anomaly in Bam. He can guard
1 to 5.
probably 1 to 5.
He can guard the coach.
He can guard anybody. All right. His teammate in the UST. So he knows how good Bam Adebayo. He got a second score in Tyler Hero. They have a coach, Uy, Philippines, with a mastermind in the strategies and preparation and whatnot. He's up there. He's won a lot of championships with a lot of Hall of Famers. So he know how to get the best out of every players. But like you said, they might have not the best package for to entice the Suns to trade. So I think they're gonna ask for a third team that might want their assets.
Mhm.
That might want their assets, and the other team might have the assets that the Suns are looking for. But let me just say this as well. Out of although these are preferred teams for
KD.
KD, according to Shams, there is one team that is nagging the Suns. Hey, we want to get in this deal too. Just let us get in the mix, and that's the T Wolves. KD doesn't want to be in the T
No, he doesn't
Wolves.
want to. And
He
let's
doesn't
not
want to, but that
let's
T
not
Wolves, yeah.
let's not talk about that. I think what needs to be asked here is there is this is KD. This is a Hall of Famer, by the way.
Mhm.
And we need to ask, people that are listening. There are other teams that I think it's not, a crazy thing that there's so many teams and now there's boiled down to three teams and then suddenly he gets traded to a different team.
And let
Like
me
who do you
also
think?
add,
Is it
yeah,
your favorite team?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, comment your favorite team and do you think they have the assets to get KD.
Is it Lakers again? Is it with this guy again? I don't know, man. There's,
I don't know. I don't
there's a
know.
lot of hate with Golden State, and I think KD, with his legacy, there might be a chance for him to go back to Golden State and to protect that legacy. But anywho's, Dan, your pick here. Who do you think will be? Who do you think makes sense? What do you think makes sense for KD?
To me, my favorite fit though, out of all these three, is the Houston Rockets. Why? They were, like I said, they were the number 2 team last season. It is in the West. And there's all this hype with the West. But who was in the finals from the East? The number 4 team in the East. Let's stop sleeping on the East. There are some sleeping giants out there. But with the Rockets, like I said, they just needed a bucket getter, a go-to guy. They just needed that guy because as bad as it sounds, our guy Jalen Green is not ready yet for the
He's
spotlight.
very inconsistent.
And you
We know
have
this.
to
We've given him
yes.
a lot of chances during the
We've
playoffs.
given him a lot of praises though.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? The Rockets, I think they are trying to go right now. They're trying to go right now. They have a very good center, and they just needed that guy. And maybe KD is that guy.
And I
You
don't know,
add
Tan.
that,
I don't know, Tan. I don't know. This is the West. You're talking about the West. Houston Rockets was number 2, yes, on the West. And West is stacked. You have 1 of 212 of the West is basically a contention of championship. There's a lot of arguments. And I think that's why he needs to go to the East. He needs to go to Miami Heat. Right? And yes,
and
there is.
and if you know KD, with all due respect, he likes the easy way out. All right, so I'm
I
just
don't
I'm
know,
just
man.
leaving
There
it
is.
out there, man.
I think Houston is gonna be a chance for him. He shouldn't be ring chasing. He knows that. He knows he doesn't need to ring chase, and I think he needs to go where he would be happy, and that would be Miami Heat. You have the
Mm.
sun, you have the beaches, right? And you still have a chance to win a
Ooh.
championship, right, Katie? You're listening
Mm.
to me, man, right? And I think this is the perfect fit for him. The East is just gonna be easy. You have no
Mm.
Jason Tatum. Giannis is gonna leave. Hopefully stays in East, but East is gonna get easy, my man, right? And might I say, all of these teams are very, 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 you know, interesting. We didn't talk about San Antonio and why it doesn't make sense. And I think one of the reasons we talked about that is we want Wembanyama to shine in his own way, right? And we're just gonna leave it with that sentiment for San Antonio
But
Spurs.
but but to finish it off for my final conclusions, I think the only winner out of this trade is the Phoenix Suns.
It is definitely the Phoenix
You
Suns.
know what they gave. Okay, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk later about this trade. But you know what happened in that trade? Now KD has a bigger price tag. So the Phoenix Suns that is struggling with cap and assets, they're gonna get a bag out of
They
KD.
are.
Let
And
me just say that.
and again, we have the next segment here. If they don't trade away at least 5 picks for KD, I'm gonna be this is stupid. And watch that next segment.
So according to Shams, it might take less than 7 games for this trade to happen. So comment how many days you guys think this trade is gonna happen and what team you guys think is gonna go.
Yes, sir. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it to your tito, to your tita, to your lolo, to your lola, to your cousins, to your insans.
Incense, yes sir.
Let's go.
But Incense out.